By 2006, we divested our label show.
You sold India labels.
We sold it
You,
to Tarsus, the company which used
So
to.
now that is Label Expo.
That is now Label Expo India.
Lovely. Oh,
It
wow.
started. On the project side, we are standing with lot of the labor collected there who were wanting to be sent back to India, and we had aeroplanes flying over Iranian planes one after the other. It was something like you could catch them, hold them with your hand.
25-year-old visit a exhibition and visit a printing exhibition or visit Pamex. So what would be your advice to him? Why should he be visiting Pamex?
So we start going into the exhibition ground a month ahead and start seeing what is new, what was there the last time, and how it is different.
Okay, it is changing that fast. Every year it's changing. Actually, many people might not know this face, but you are the face behind Pamex, the most known exhibition. Before moving ahead, would like to bring your attention on a wonderful new product, a reusable notebook from NARA. It's a 100% tree-free, waterproof and tear-proof notebook which can be used endlessly for years together. I think it's a great step towards a sustainable future and a new step in note-taking. I have been personally using this notebook and have been able to save 6 to 8 pages every day. If you are interested in knowing more about this product, the link for the product is in the description below. Hi Anilji, welcome to Ink Stories.
Thank you for having me, and I know that you have been following the thing for a little time now.
It's
my fault totally.
No problem at all. It's finally we found time. It's nice that you are coming. Actually, many people might not know this face, but you are the face behind Pamex, the most known exhibition, or if not globally, at least the most known exhibition in India, and an exhibition that I'm deeply fond of. So, we wanted, and Pamex is, coming very soon in 2024, I think the first week of February. So I thought it was an apt time to get you and talk about Pamex. What's been the history of Pamex? How did it start? What has been your journey? How is the printing exhibition industry in India and all that? So Abhi said, can we start the conversation?
I know you are an exhibitor in Pamex.
Yes, we are.
Unfortunately, I have not known you. I have not met you. So this is a good occasion to meet one of my exhibitors. Beside Sujit, you are doing good work in Ink Stories. That's what you call it.
Yes, Ink Stories. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I'm here today.
Yeah, thanks. It's nice. It's nice to know a different journey. Actually, the purpose by which I had started Ink Stories was very different. But अभी आप 43rd guest है, and इतने सारे लोगों की अलग अलग कहानियाँ मेरे को ही काफ़ी इंस्पायर करती है. There is so much to learn, so much to know, so much that you can probably imbibe in your own journey. But let's start talking about your area, and I think first let's start from where it all began. Where were you born, your journey, your early days, and how you reached where you are today?
Well, my father was a civil engineer working for the irrigation department in Punjab.
Okay.
So I was born in a small little town called Moga in Punjab. But my earliest memories are from Pilani, because my father, a very adventurous soul, had moved on, left the government job. If he had stayed on there, probably he would have retired as a chief engineer, and I would have been somewhere in Punjab with children called Happy and Cuckoo or something like that. But
I can imagine.
Thanks to him, so I have had a good journey where we have moved from places to places, and I've been exposed to a lot of things that I wouldn't have been if we had stayed on there. So my earliest memories, as I was saying, are from Pilani.
Okay.
So my father moved from the irrigation department to teaching in Pilani.
Bits.
In Bits, Pilani.
Ah,
yes.
nice.
Yeah. And even there, it is very initial memories, because very soon we were in Kanpur, as he had moved on to IIT.
Okay.
And I was 7 or 8 when we were in Assam in Jorhat.
Okay.
He left that job to join the Regional Research Laboratory, which is a CSIR organization
Okay.
in Jorhat. So my memories from there are of a very protected childhood where we stay in a campus where everyone around is uncle or auntie. So, Chorat, we were there for about 6 years. I was 11 or 12 when we moved to Chandigarh. So, he gave up that government job, followed industrialist who was visiting there and just about starting some businesses. Factories in Chandigarh. So this was one factory which they were making pre-stressed concrete products. So he joined there as a works manager, and we found ourselves in Chandigarh. So Chandigarh was where I had my later part of schooling and college. So I became a commerce graduate there. The only black sheep in the family because all others were engineers or doctors or
at least those days. आज तो इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो जमाने में तो फर्क पड़ता. अगर पापा इंजीनियर है और बेटा से तो एक्सपेक्टेशन होता ही है.
Yeah, but then moving from place to place didn't help my studies also.
I am
we were in Jorat where we were still it was such a remote place at that time when even the books which were prescribed to us wouldn't reach us there. So we were always a little behind in studies.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then we suddenly are brought to.
But then that makes you a lot of brings in a lot of street smartness because of you traveling places, making new friends. You always have to attempt to make new friends.
Yeah, and you get exposed to a lot of culture, different kind of food and all. So that has, I think, somewhere percolated into my lifestyle also. I'm sure. So after college. In Chandigarh, I followed my father to Middle East where he had gone on to in a construction business. Organizing these projects for the company, in fact getting projects for them, and then to another company in Iraq. So in Kuwait,
which year are you talking about?
I'm talking 77, 70.
Before the war?
Before the Iraq-Kuwait war, which was in 1980.
80s, yeah.
In 1980, I was in Iraq very much.
You were in Iraq?
I was in Iraq.
Oh, okay.
First-hand experience of.
My goodness, might be scary.
I have so many stories about that. Maybe some other day we'll talk about that. I have seen on the project site, we are standing with a lot of the labor collected there who were wanting to be sent back to India. And we had aeroplanes flying over Iranian planes, one after the other. It was something like you could catch them, hold them with your hand. They looked so low. So it was very, very interesting times.
Different journey.
Yeah. So I was in Kuwait, starting with selling some construction equipment. And then providing services to Indian construction companies who were working in Iraq. Because of the war, the Basra ports was closed. So all the equipment and materials for these construction companies used to come to the Kuwait port and then had to be transported to Iraq. So since I had a residence in Kuwait as well as in Iraq, I could travel to and back and forth. So I provided these kind of liaison services, looking after their needs, and IRCON was our major client at that time. Somewhere along this, around 1982, I fell out with my Kuwaiti partner. And then came to India just to visit after several years. My father also at that time had fallen apart with his partners. My brother was in Merchant Navy. He used to be sailing. He was not keeping very well, and he got recently married too, and there was an attraction to come back to the shore,
to the land.
So three of us together, then we started a construction business.
You were into the construction business?
Yeah, we started in 1982. We formed a company in Chandigarh. Back to the town that we had gone from, and moved on from there. Next 10 or 12 years were very interesting. We grew very fast. We were doing construction projects in various places in the country. Delhi was our head office, then shifted to Delhi. We were doing projects in Karnal, in the Indian Oil Corporation had some projects coming up there. I moved to Hyderabad. It is at that time that I got married also.
Okay.
Hyderabad, we were doing projects for the DRDO, Defense Research and
Yeah,
Development
DRDO,
Organization,
right.
where they do these missiles.
So you were basically doing all kinds of government projects.
all kind of government and also private
projects.
Also private projects. DRDO has RCI project there where they are researching missiles. So we did some housing projects and some technical buildings there. Then Bharat Dynamics Limited, they make the missiles. So we did some good buildings for them also in Patancheru near Hyderabad.
Okay.
From there, I moved to Bombay to take up some projects there.
Okay.
Then we were this was late 80s. By the time 90s, things were not very good in the country. The economy was bad.
Yes.
Businesses were also suffering.
Yes.
Especially for us, we had contracts where there was not proper protection against inflation, and inflation was mind-boggling at that time.
Oh, okay.
So we got into a lot of financial problems
Financial
because of these projects.
Okay.
And then I had children who had started growing up.
I'm sure.
Doing these kind of projects also meant staying away from home for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So I was quite fed up with this business, and I was looking for a change.
Okay.
So that is the time when internet was making its advent in India.
Acha.
And this was a field which was totally new and was drawing people from various fields attracted by something new. So I also had taken...
So you are amongst the early guys who caught on to the internet bandwagon.
Yes.
Oh.
It was, I think, mid-90s when we started using internet.
Super.
Then we got into this business of making websites for corporates, companies. Not only making websites, promoting them, because in those days there was no Google, there were hosts of search engines.
Correct.
To make a site and be visible on the search engine was the trick. So we had learned that.
Acha.
And then we were among the sites that we were doing, we started doing some portals.
Acha.
Now, portal was not even in the common jargon at that time.
Correct.
We used to call them business sites. So it was only in 2000 and later that the term portal came in. So we had a portal for, among others, on printing and packaging, printpackaging.com.
That's how you come into the printing industry.
That's how.
And I was, आप थोड़ी देर पहले ना कंस्ट्रक्शन की बात कर रहे थे, मैं भी मोमेंट के लिए सर तो प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री है, तो प्रिंटिंग में अभी कब आए कब? Oh, that's how you got into the printing industry.
That's how we got into printing industry. So printpackaging.com became more popular than the other.
Yes, it was quite popular.
So what we used to do was we used to be official web hosts for any event that was happening in the country at that time.
Any printing event?
Any printing event, printing or packaging event.
Okay.
We would be the official web hosts.
Okay.
Which meant that we would make a website for them, promote it. Promotion meant that we would see that it came up on the top of the search engines.
Lovely.
So in lieu of making that website, we would get a stall in the exhibition.
Acha.
Where we would collect a lot of data from the visitors who are coming in and then put it up in the portal. So this was a totally programmed portal with a lot of forums, it was searchable, where you could send inquiries, where you could talk business. It also had who's who. So the people from printing industry we got to meet at that time. Some of them became good friends and some of them are still good friends.
Sure.
So we were among other things also having news on this website where we would cover what was happening in the industry, major installations of equipment and all that were happening. We would write news about that. These days we would call them blogs, but we used to call them news at that time. So we also got a lot of international attention. We had because of this portal, we had a booth in IPEX in Birmingham. That time that was the second largest exhibition after Drupa.
Okay.
We also had a booth in the Label Expo Asia, which was happening in Singapore. Now, when we were writing these news or we were covering these news, a lot of installations of label presses were covered on our website. So, what we were seeing was that a lot of people were getting these equipment, label presses,
Right.
and real sophisticated label presses were coming in, but not much was known about what was happening in this industry. We used to be writing about
The label presses.
the label presses which were coming in. What we found was that not much was known about this industry, the size of the industry. It was just that you saw your neighbor getting a label press.
Copy करना है, मुझे भी डालना
So
है.
we also, it's like we say bhed chal.
Bhed chal.
So in bhed chal, people were getting
Yes.
label
Without
presses.
understanding where to use it, how to use it. Yes.
I'm sure that they understood where to use it, but how much was the
How
market?
big the market is.
How many presses this industry could take? Nobody was aware of any of these things. So among the events, as I mentioned, we had also been to Label Expo
Singapore.
Asia in Singapore, and there was a series of label expos that were organized in Brussels. There was Label Expo Europe,
Okay.
and there was a Label Expo America happening.
Okay.
So we thought that this could be a good field to have an exhibition in. Now, with our experience getting these stalls in the exhibitions, various exhibitions all over the country, so we could see how people were organizing exhibitions, and it was always at the back of my mind, maybe these could be done better.
Okay.
So we had now a subject.
That was the first seed sowed into your mind that I could also probably be a part of running an exhibition.
Yes.
Nice.
So our India Label Show was conceived in 2001, and it happened in December 2002. That
Okay.
was the first exhibition we organized.
Okay.
Now, in promoting this exhibition over the 1.5 years, we broke a lot of rules on how people were organizing the exhibition.
Like?
We took the promotion to various towns in the country. We call them road shows.
हाँ, road shows जिसको
Road
बोलते हैं.
shows.
Correct.
Till that time, the road show was not.
Concept was not existing.
No, it was not in the general parlance.
अच्छा.
So when we first talked of road shows, people thought that it would be something happening on the road. So today, you can't think of a printing event where they won't have a road show to promote it.
Yes.
So, but this was something which we started in 2001,
Okay.
and today I think we have outlived the utility of having road shows because we have so many other means of
Communication. True.
communication.
True.
So that's how we started.
That's how you really promoted the exhibition.
Promoted the
Okay.
event. The event finally was very successful. A lot of visitors. The exhibitors were thrilled. They were happy. It was at that time bigger than the packaging exhibitions that was happening in the country.
And packaging would have been a much bigger segment, and label then तो बहुत ही छोटा था.
It was probably 0.5% of the total packaging
Industry.
industry. So this was, then we learned how to, this was about doing exhibitions in a niche segment.
Correct.
So what happens in a niche segment is that exhibitors who would not go to a larger printing exhibition or a packaging exhibition would be there because they are part of the value chain of making of a label.
Correct.
So like for example, if you are having a
substrate है, release
label
liner है,
stock
adhesive है.
manufacturer, conceivably they may come to a printing exhibition, but then the paper supplier to that label stock manufacturer or the adhesive or the liner behind that.
Correct.
So these are the kind of exhibitors who would come to a label show but wouldn't go to a packaging or a printing event ever.
Okay. Right.
So that's how you could have a larger than packaging exhibition in labels. So once that label was successful, it was a biennial event, so we needed to do something the other year when the label show was not happening. So we organized shows called India Converting Show.
Okay.
Which was
one more niche show.
Yeah, which was making of a package from paper or film or foil.
Okay.
And India Flexo Show.
Acha.
So flexography was very nascent at that time. It was
Correct.
just coming in.
Correct.
So
you're talking about early 2000s.
Yeah, 2003 was our first exhibition.
Okay. Correct. Very early stage.
Yeah. So by 2006 we divested our label show.
You sold India labels.
We sold it to Tarsus, the company which used to.
So now that is Label Expo.
That is now Label Expo India.
Lovely.
It started for 1 or 2 editions. They called it India Label Show only. Then they renamed it Label Expo to go with the other series of Label Expo.
So you made it into a brand and then could successfully sell it.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
So having sold that, we started a India packaging show. Later we bought these converting, flexo and packaging etc. together to make a larger exhibition called Pack Plus.
Okay. Pack Plus.
Yeah.
अच्छा, वो भी आपका ब्रांड था.
Yeah, Pack Plus.
अभी तो नहीं है वो.
Pack Plus we divested in 2019.
That also you sold.
Yeah.
So lovely, very nice.
By the time it was grown, it was the largest packaging exhibition that was happening in the country.
Correct. That was also a very good show.
Yeah.
So Pack Plus still happens?
It happens. Tarsus is the Reed
exhibitions.
Reed exhibitions organizer.
Oh, very nice. Lovely. So you like done the label exhibition, which is now Label Expo. You've done the packaging, which is now Pack Plus, and now you're doing Pamex.
That's right.
Pamex is not your brand. So just tell us a little bit. Is there anything else before Pamex that I missed?
No, not really. Because when we were doing Pack Plus, anything like we did a show on corrugated, that too became a part of it. So these are different
you bought everything together.
Niches within segments within printing and packaging, which we brought together at Pack Plus, making it a very large exhibition.
Great. So let's now talk about Pamex. What's the origin of Pamex? What is this
whole Pamex thing about? Probably precedes even Pack Plus, which is a very large exhibition which everyone is aware of.
Okay.
They go back to, both these shows go back to late 80s, and in 90 for the first time when Print Pack was held, it was held in Bangalore as far as I know.
Acha.
Both Print Pack and Pamex were happening on the same days in the same city but in different venues.
Oh, conflict.
The conflict between the machine manufacturers and the printers. So as you know, Pack Plus, as you know, Print Pack is organized by the IPAMA, which is the Association for the Printing Machinery Manufacturers. And Pamex belongs to All India Federation of Master Printers, the printing
fraternity
federation.
Correct.
So Pamex and Print Pack were happening between late 80s to 96 or 97. I think Pamex was the last event in that decade.
Okay.
By the time then Print Pack moved to Delhi, and in partnership with ITPO, it gained a lot of traction.
Became very successful.
It became very successful and a very large event. Pamex somehow fizzled out.
Oh, okay.
So when we came into exhibitions, there was no Pamex.
Okay.
We only knew Print Pack.
Acha.
And it was in 99 Print Pack, I think, that we had launched printpackaging.com. In that exhibition itself we had launched.
Acha.
So we were aware only of Print Pack. But when we used to meet our exhibitors who were old hands in printing industry, they used to sometimes talk about an exhibition called Pamex that used to happen. So somewhere in 2005, we offered to All India Federation of Master Printers.
They are the owners of the brand
They are the
Pamex?
owners of the brand Pamex.
Okay.
So we offered to them that we could organize it on their behalf. So we made them a commercial offer, which they found attractive. It was discussed in a general body meeting happening in Delhi, I remember, and everyone agreed that it was a good idea to let us organize that event.
Okay.
But BMPA was not in favor of that. They said that they could take up and organize that exhibition. BMP had experience in organizing exhibitions because they used to do an exhibition called Print Vision
Okay.
in late 90s and till 2002 or 3.
Okay.
They were organizing that Print Vision, which used to happen in Bombay. So they had experience at organizing exhibitions, and they felt that they could do Pamex. And since it was one of their constituent, they could not say no to them. So they asked them to go ahead and organize it. MMS came also into the picture. So MMS and BMP together organized that exhibition in 2006.
Lovely.
So Pamex, after about a decade,
Came back.
came back, revived due to our intervention,
Lovely.
but not held by us, not organized by us. And this Pamex was very successful. It was by far the most successful printing event till that time.
Oh, nice.
For some reason, they took Pamex to Delhi after that, and they had a exhibition organizer in Delhi who did 2 or 3 editions, I think, for them. Now in Delhi, where Printpack was already established, Pamex could not make much headway.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time they did their 3rd edition in Delhi, it had almost fizzled out. It had almost fizzled out because though they could get good exhibitors because of the connections of the label of the printers. But getting the visitors into the exhibition which was left to the organizer, that was not very well done. It was not promoted very well.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that is the stage when we came in once again, and we again offered to do Pamex. But we had clear understanding, we wanted clear understanding that one, it will be a long-term agreement that we'll have.
Okay.
Because if it is only one time, then the organizer does not have any intrinsic interest in investing in
building a brand.
In building a brand, which basically means promoting it to get the visitors.
Correct.
So he is going to get his revenue from the exhibitors.
वो एक event से उसका हो गया and he's tata bye bye.
Naturally, he is not interested in working too hard in getting the visitors in.
Yeah,
because,
very thoughtful.
Yeah. So we wanted a long-term agreement, which they agreed.
Very nice.
So 2015, we got to organize the first edition with us. So we had 2 conditions. One was that we'll bring it to Bombay.
Okay.
2 was that it would be a long-term agreement.
Okay.
So once this was agreed, so 2015 we got the exhibition into Bombay.
Okay.
It was very successful, and then it started growing every edition. So till now we have done 4 editions of Pamex. Each one has been at least 25% larger than the previous one.
Very nice.
Both in terms of the exhibition space sold, as well as in the number of visitors that came to the exhibition.
Lovely. So what would be your message to the guys who are watching this podcast in terms of what should they be expecting at Pamex 2024? What's new? What's happening there?
See, in the 23 edition itself, we had brought in a term which was the underlying theme of that exhibition, convergence in print.
Right.
So we are carrying on this theme.
Tell us more about convergence of print. What exactly you mean by that?
You see, convergence in print works at 2 levels. One is at the level of the printer, where the printers are looking to get into other segments
Okay.
than the one they are serving presently.
Okay.
At the technology level, that's the other level,
Uh-huh.
the developments in technologies today make it possible to do more applications, several more applications than with the same piece of equipment than which we were doing earlier.
Lovely.
For example, a label printer who on press which was called narrow web previously, but the web started growing bigger.
Wider.
It had become wider.
Yeah.
And also with inline printing coming in, could use the same label press to print labels or to make cartons or to make pouches or sachets or lemmy-tubes. Flexible laminates, anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of things they could
Yeah,
do on
yeah,
that
yeah.
press. So this phenomena we called the convergence in print.
Lovely. Unfolding opportunities.
Yes. See, the convergence had started happening even before the pandemic, when the commercial printer, whose top lines were challenged all the time for obvious reasons,
Correct.
had started looking for other avenues to grow and looking for other segments to get into. A lot of commercial printers had already got into package printing. The COVID, this trend became more pronounced.
Right.
Commercial printers almost had to shut shop, at least for those 2 or 3 years.
Correct.
But in this period, the label printer and the package printer did quite all right. In fact, some of them thrived.
Yeah.
They grew during that period.
True.
Basically driven by the e-commerce, and also the fact that food and pharma were considered essential
commodities. Yeah.
and their suppliers were also considered essential commodities, and they could carry on the business while other businesses were closed.
Correct.
So a lot of them grew, and the brand owner who was getting the packaging from them was suddenly conscious of the reliability of the supply chain. So after we came out of the pandemic, they started encouraging their reliable suppliers to get into other segments besides the one they were serving.
Yeah.
So this also drove the convergence in print that we were discussing.
Okay.
So this convergence in print was what
That's
was
the
underlying
basic
thing.
underlying theme of Pamex 23, and you continue that in 2024.
We continued that. So apart from the label suppliers, the flexible packaging suppliers and all who were there for the first time in 23. This time we are also focusing on the textile printing.
Nice.
As well as soft signages.
Lovely.
Which all are seeing also a
So you're
convergence.
widening the portfolio.
Yes.
Very nice.
Because all of these are seeing again a convergence in technology also.
Correct.
So we would expect the textile printers or garment printers also to visit the exhibition.
Correct.
And probably look at the other aspects of printing.
Correct.
And it could be a place where the printers can look at the textile printing segment, and the textile printers can look at the other segments in printing.
Correct. Actually, what you said is so correct, or what you guys are thinking is so true. Because textile printing has sublimation printing, transfer printing,
Yes.
and we were having a guest earlier who's doing transfer printing on pens, Manish Bhai from Mudrika Labels.
Yeah.
So a kind of sublimation printing. So there is so many different kinds of printing which are so close to each other, but they are in different industries. When these comes together in an exhibition, it is unfolding so many different opportunities, and so your theme convergence of print probably makes so much sense.
We have covered some cases in our communications about commercial printer who has got into textile printing already and is
I'm sure.
successfully
I'm sure.
doing that.
I'm sure. Lovely. So, while organizing an exhibition like Pamex, what are the main things that remains in your mind? Do you have to innovate every year? Do you do something which is different, or it's about calling these many participants and communicating to the visitors that you have to come? Is there any special thing that you guys have to do?
Well, if we need the show to grow, which we have been always trying to,
Right.
so we have to look at what are the new things happening in the industry, look at
So anything that you're doing this year that is different?
Like I said, that we are carrying on the convergence and print theme, so that would be
You were mentioning to me earlier about the innovation pavilion. Is there something that you
Yes,
would want
we
to talk about?
yes, we would have innovation pavilion in the exhibition.
Mhm.
So this would be a pavilion where we have about a dozen or so exhibitors. They would be displaying some futuristic technologies. We have 3D printing, which would be covered here. We would
Nice.
have flexible
Electronics.
we'll have flexible electronics that will be covered here. We would have augmented reality
AR.
printing,
Yeah, nice.
which is going to be there. We would also have within the digital printing some very new developments
Lovely.
which are not seen as yet. They would be shown in this pavilion. Also, we would have a small auditorium in this pavilion itself, where we'll have workshops and some seminars, people talking about these futuristic
Lovely,
technologies.
lovely. One question. I have my own perspective, but I want to know yours, and then probably would like to add mine. In terms of why should a 25-year-old visit a exhibition and visit a printing exhibition or visit Pamex? What are your views on that?
So I'm assuming that you are talking about 25-year-old who is already into printing.
Who's somewhere he's trying to get into the industry as an employee or as running a business, starting a business. So what would be your advice to him? Why should he be visiting Pamex?
You see, an exhibition of this size has exhibitors across all the gamut of printing, starting with the largest multinationals with their cutting edge technologies who would be exhibiting there. There are the large homegrown players who are not only supplying to Indian printers today, but are also exporting, are busy in the international markets, to the small exhibitors who have some indigenous technologies, solutions for specifically Indian problems, who would be there also in large numbers.
Right.
So you have the entire gamut of what is happening in the industry present before you, depending upon where you are in the...
What is your area of interest?
What is your area of interest and how large or small you are in your business right now.
Correct.
And wanting to grow in whichever direction.
Correct.
This is a place where you can go and see what all is happening and
Correct.
learn, educate yourself. Maybe you are not a buyer today, but you see what is happening and you can plan your growth accordingly.
Correct. So I would like to add my 2 cents to this. We've had couple of guests in the past, and few of them, I think at least 4 or 5 of them, they started their business in this industry only after visiting exhibitions. And I feel today one of the best forms of getting knowledge, hands-on knowledge in terms of seeing the product, which you can't get on a Google search or on internet, is visiting exhibitions.
Right.
You are having 400, 500 exhibitors standing there, from a large machinery manufacturer to small stalls of 9 square meters where there are smaller companies who are exhibiting their displays. So you are getting a hang of different kinds of technologies, different kinds of suppliers, different kinds of products. Now, I feel nothing better than visiting an exhibition in today's era. No matter which industry you are in, not necessarily you have to be in the printing industry. Great for us, we would want more and more people to join this industry. I think...
No, I can't agree with you more because visiting an exhibition like this, so if you are just looking for some kind of a new project, there are so many things that you can see there and you can pick up.
True.
We have simple things like machines for making cups,
Correct.
paper cups.
Paper cups.
No, this is anyone can buy a machine from there and start a business of his own.
And with
it's a
sustainable
lot of-
packaging, this all makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And these are not very big projects.
Correct.
These are projects which a budding entrepreneur can just start. A
Correct.
20-year-old or
Correct.
22-year-old wanting to do something new
Correct.
can just start off.
Yeah, that's the kind of impact Anil Arora has been having on this industry, which many people might not realize, that you are helping the industry learn so much more in terms of various technologies, in terms of knowledge sharing, where people can understand from different towns. People come across the country. Being a participant at Pamex for the last many years, I have seen people coming from the remotest parts of India in groups and talking to us, knowing about what we do. It's phenomenal. I think
That's the beautiful part of an event like this.
Yeah.
A large event like this, you have the largest of printers,
Yeah,
and you have printers from B and C towns who are there.
true.
So while you have the entire gamut of machines
Correct.
and materials from all over the world, you also have printers here from all over the country.
Correct.
So this is the interaction where the visitor gets to learn about what is happening in the industry in terms of technologies and trends, and the exhibitors are able to test their new launches.
Correct.
And get the feedback from the visitors.
Correct.
About what they are doing today, what direction they should be going.
Correct.
in.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
it is how our industry develops.
Yeah.
These kind of exhibitions, they become catalysts for the entire industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't agree more.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a big catalyst for growth for this industry, and especially the printing industry. I also want you to add a little bit more on the earlier, before we started, you were talking about how an exhibition helps small exhibitors. When large printers, they are walking around and they see a stall and they get an idea about a product.
As I said, there are small printers who have solutions, sometimes very specific solutions for small problems.
Correct.
Which you will not get in a larger stall.
Yeah.
So this kind of a niche problem solving,
Yeah.
which can
It's lingering in your mind and you don't know where to look for it, and you see that
Absolutely.
while walking.
Absolutely, you're walking
in
down
the
the
lanes,
aisle
yeah.
and suddenly you see something and it strikes you, hey, this is something which
What
I've
been looking for
This
all
is
this
solution
while.
I've been looking for all
Correct,
the way.
correct. And 4 days of knowledge on display. Please come and learn as much as you can. I'm sure that would be the message of the Pamex
And we
team.
talked about equipment, we talked about the consumables, suppliers. There is a lot of softwares which are on display in such exhibitions.
Yes.
I think in the last exhibition we had at least a dozen companies who had different type of softwares specifically for printing industry or general business softwares which any business including printers can use.
Lovely. So, what are the challenges generally faced by organizers like you in this exhibition? Sorry.
See, over the years we have learned to do exhibitions. So for us, doing an exhibition is not a large challenge. But organizing an exhibition in Bombay, there is a inbuilt challenge for any exhibition organizer. Is the no state-of-the-art venue is available. The venue where we organize exhibition in Goregaon, this was industrial sheds which have been converted into exhibition centers.
Exhibition halls, yes.
So the halls itself, if you have seen, there are pillars in between.
Correct.
These pillars are where you have the electrical boxes, the wiring and all is old. So all of these, right, starting from the facade of that exhibition center, it's all so worn out. So we have to hide that. Probably you do not see it because it is well hidden when you come into the exhibition.
Correct.
But it's a challenge. And then constantly they are building things. They are also, in the last few years, they have started investing into making these better. And in future, I expect that most of these halls are going to be brought down and new halls going to be built.
New halls will come.
This will happen over the next few years.
Correct.
But then when all of this is happening and you are still going to be having exhibitions going on, so there is a challenge in hiding all that construction that is going on. And seeing that it does not come in the way of your
Correct.
your exhibition.
Correct.
The parking lots and all, there is not enough parking, and because they are building, these parking lots keep on moving. So there are a lot of challenges on that account.
Infrastructure.
Where because of which, so we are not there on those 4 days of the exhibition or the 3 days preceding that when we move in. So we start going into the exhibition ground a month ahead and start seeing what is new, what was there the last time, and how it is different.
Okay, it is changing that fast. Every year it's changing.
So we are looking for what are the problems that have come up, new problems that have come up.
So
at the statutory level also we have so many things, every
traffic management controls, I'm sure there would be a lot of those issues as well.
That is an issue because
you're in the thick of the city.
So traffic has got a little better because a couple of years ago when we were doing the exhibitions, this construction of the metro was on. So that meant a lot of congestion. So now that metro is already working, so all those roadblocks and all have gone. So that gives it a little easier to manage the traffic, though it is still a very busy road. The Western Expressway,
yes,
busiest during
road
office
in
hours
Mumbai.
can be very, very busy.
Correct.
That affects our traffic management also.
Correct.
Though we talk a lot of about ease in doing business, organizing exhibition has not got easier in any way. It has got more difficult as far as statutory requirements are concerned.
Any advice? I mean, I don't know if anyone would listen to what we are talking about, but your thoughts, being part of exhibition for such a long time, what should have been better? How and what? Any suggestions around that?
You see, when you have a venue which is existing, which organizes exhibitions, for the fire department to make these this event, this premises suitable for whatever they think is required, they should get it done and approve it. Now we have to get every exhibition, we have to go and get approvals from the fire department.
But the approvals are not in place by the owner of the land?
No. Oh. Not only this, there are so many from police, from police also different departments.
No one window clearance.
There is no one window clearance. There is no
and is it only in Mumbai or other cities also it's the same? All across.
All across.
And globally, how is this? Globally also, is it that difficult, or probably in India it could be better?
Globally, the organizer would not come to know how difficult or easy it is because it is the job of the venues. So venue has already got, they have built a venue, so they have got all of these things already approved.
Everything
so you
is
just
in
move
place.
in. You are not thinking about getting a municipality to give you a clearance. You are not looking at the fire department. All these things are something typical of India.
But hopefully these organizers, in terms of these venue owners, if they can listen to this and think of making life easier for organizers, it will be.
We have a industry association.
I'm sure you guys have done your bit.
We have tried our best, but it is getting always every exhibition we find that there is more
difficulty.
Things that we need to get approved than the last one.
So, like in Delhi, the exhibitions moved from Pragati Maidan to Greater Noida to a much bigger facility.
Now they have even a much better facility in Dwarka, which
is
already started.
Wow. So, does that take care of all these clearances? Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Achha, you have not
I'm sure that between Pragati Maidan and the one in Greater Noida, the Greater Noida was much easier. Dwarka, how it is going to be, because it just started.
Okay.
We have not had any exhibition.
So anything like that in Mumbai, because Goregaon is probably lot of work happening in the Nesco grounds. They have their own buildings, this, that. I'm not sure. Can we have a large exhibition like something that in the scale of what happens in the Messe Dusseldorf, like a Drupa? Like if India aspires to be a $30-40 trillion economy in the next 20-25 years, our exhibitions are also going to grow in size.
Well, that's why Dwarka is there. It's very large, very
something like that in Mumbai?
art, but nothing like that is in Bombay. We
Okay.
have Geo, which has come up later.
Is it that large?
It is not large enough. It's not even large enough to take over exhibition,
Yeah.
Pamex.
Yeah.
So we
It's
have to-
good for niche exhibitions, very state of the art. I've been there, very nice,
Yeah.
but not large grounds.
No.
We need larger grounds for large exhibitions
And
because
little away from the hustle and bustle.
yeah, somewhere in the Navi Mumbai side where the international airport is,
Yeah.
probably that direction it might make sense. Yeah,
Navi
great.
Mumbai has a exhibition center, but that's not very large.
And it's not very famous also. I have not heard of any
Well,
exhibition being.
Well, because when they built that, they didn't consult the organizers or anybody from the industry. They just built that. It is done like even the old halls in Pragati Maidan, if you have seen, they were never built to have good exhibitions. They were some architect, his vanity project, making something fancy, some different shape, but they were not even good for holding exhibitions.
I totally agree. I think
For
it's high
exhibitions, you
time.
need basic halls which are pillar free and in right angles. You don't need curves. You don't need,
Yeah.
so architects trying to show their expertise designing.
It's not required.
Yeah, it's not required. You need simple buildings. Yes, they have to be functional. So you need architects who can think about functional.
With all the clearances in place, so the organizers are not troubled and they can focus in their core job of making the exhibition bigger and better.
I'm sure sooner or later something like that.
Yeah, it has to happen. I'm
Bombay.
sure. Yeah.
Bangalore has a very good
Is it?
professional, good
Oh, very nice.
venue.
Good to know that.
Hyderabad has good venue.
Very nice. Great. So, an interesting conversation. I think we have moving longer in the conversation, and in the interest of time, let's kind of pull this towards the last few questions. Any message that you leading the this exhibition in terms of the execution? I'm sure AFMP and BMPA and all are ably supporting you. So, any message for the exhibitors or the visitors for this exhibition? Any last message that you want to say to the people?
Yeah, this is an exhibition. As I already said, it's a very large exhibition. We have about 450 to 500 exhibitors.
500 exhibitors, lovely.
Yeah, with products on display from various segments, various places. Come over, have a look at this. If you are looking to buy something, this is the place where you can come and make your purchases. If you are looking to buy something in future, you can see what the trends are. In fact, this exhibition is coming now, is just ahead of, a few months ahead of Drupa.
Correct.
Drupa is the largest
Exhibition
in our segment world over.
Right.
So a lot of Indian companies are going to be exhibiting
Correct.
in Drupa.
Correct.
As I understand, there are 71 companies, Indian companies, who will be in Drupa, the largest number till today. So many of them are in Pamex, and some of them would also be talking about what they are going to be showing in
So it's
Drupa.
like a curtain raiser for Drupa.
Lovely. And Drupa itself will have a booth there.
Nice.
So they will also be disseminating information about what is going to be happening
Nice.
in Drupa.
Nice.
So the prelude to Drupa, come over,
Great.
have this exhibition right in your city,
Right.
in
Great.
your country.
Great, and I can vouch for it. I've been a part of many Pamex exhibitions, and I always love to be a part. My team loves to be a part. Good visitors across the country. They're not like specific to Maharashtra only. It is from deep down south, various cities, even the smaller towns, from north, from east, Calcutta, Assam, that belt. So I think it's a great exhibition.
We got about 35,000 visitors in the last exhibition,
Lovely.
and I think we should be crossing 40,000 this time.
Lovely.
And when I say 35,000 visitors, we are talking of unique visitors. So each visitor coming in is counted only once.
Lovely.
Not that if he's coming 4 times, we count him 4
I can
times.
understand. Yeah. With the rush speaks for itself.
Yeah.
More power to you and your team. May you prosper
Thank
and
you,
do
Sujit.
well. Great. And one last question for us is, you've been a part of the early internet era in terms of where data was being used in the portal that you did with print packaging, and this is a new form of podcast that has come up in the last few years, and probably this is one of the few podcasts that happens in the print industry globally. So what are your advice for us in terms of how can we do things better?
Oh, well, you're doing a very good job, Sujit. Carry on with this. I would like to see many more subscribers who should be discovering this soon. And,
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, and you should be having this kind of podcast more regularly. There are a lot of people in this industry who are very articulate, much more articulate than me.
You're being modest.
I'll be surely suggesting a few names. We would like to see them come and talk on your show.
Look forward. Thanks for your words. Appreciate your time, and thanks for doing this for us.
Thank you, Sujit. Once again, I'm happy to be here and wishing you the best in your endeavors.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.